I started this whole New York trip was I was on Facebook and I got a message from a designer scout for the New York Fashion Week, and she said she saw my designs posted on somebody's wall, and she clicked over and she saw some of the videos that was done for my brand, and the one that Brina was in with Ija, and she loved it. And then she clicked over to my Instagram and she was mind blown, and she thinks that I will do well in New York Fashion Week.
So at that time though, was it like a right away moment though? You know, when you said yes, or did you sit back and like, oh, I don't think that's for me?
Normally, I always doubt myself. So I was like, maybe she's just gassing me up. Like, maybe she's just gassing me up because, you know, they need designers to just pay for the shows. And so I was like, oh, I don't know about this stuff yet. Right? But I remember that I've always told myself that I have a dream to go to New York Fashion Week. We talked about it before I made my first clothes for our shoot with Brina. I already talked about New York Fashion Week, so I was like, you know, let me ask Papi. Let me ask him what's gonna happen. And I asked him, and he was like, well, maybe that's a good idea.
Right. And I remember actually when you brought it up when you had your own personal fashion show. Oh my goodness. And you said it. You did speak it in existence. You was like, you know, I'm going to New York Fashion Week. I said, okay. And I think you can do it. And then next thing you know, you're going to go with me? I said, I can do that. You know, so that's what I was doing. And I remember you mentioning a few other people about going. So I think it's 2 of them here that we got also. That's I'm like, oh, I'm going to New York Fashion Week. And I was excited. I said yes. I put my little down payment on a trip, and here we were, popping on that airplane, and then I ran into this one here at the airport. Always. It was fun. We always run into each other at the airport on travel mode. So I ran into this one, and we said we're going to New York Fashion Week.
It's been a crazy long journey. I think since I first met you, I think it's always been, we're going to New York, we're going to New York, we're going to New York. And I'm like, you just give me the call, let me know. And the call came.
Right.
And I was like, I was in the car with my cousins. We're coming back from LA. And then we're listening to music. And then I look at my phone. I'm like, put the music down. And then I'm like, hello. I'm thinking she's calling me, just be like, hey, how are you? What's going on? And it starts like that. She's like, you know, just so nonchalant. By the way, and I'm like, you don't by the way, New York Fashion Week.
Right.
And she's just like, we're going to New York, and I'm just like, I look at my phone, I was like, and I'm thinking like, this is not happening, and I'm like, okay, like, you know, it's us talking about it. I'm like, okay,
right.
And she goes, no, like, I got to New York Fashion Week, we're going, and I was like, and she's like, you're modeling, and I was like, huh? I was like, what? And I'm like, and I didn't get hit until I think we got to the hotel.
And then it really hit you.
And we had that call time. And we're getting our makeup done. And we're putting on our clothes. It's real. And then I'm like, wait, I'm walking to New York Fashion Week.
Right.
Up before then, I booked my flight, and I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
I got on the airplane. I'm like, well, I ran into you at the airplane. And I was like, whatever.
I ran into you there.
Yes, and then you ran into exactly.
At the airport. So it didn't hit me until like I was getting my makeup done. I was like, okay, like I'm really in New York Fashion Week. And like we did it. And honestly, I feel like it's like less than a year. Cause I haven't known you that long.
No, it's been less
than a year.
Yeah,
and it's already
she spoke it up.
This trip have all been so fun. I actually was supposed to fly in on Thursday, and all was well until I arrived in Atlanta. And I looked at the board, and all the flights were on time except for mine. Mine was canceled. And there were no flights leaving Atlanta until the morning. So that was fun, but there was a lot of blessings that occurred with that. All the little mistakes weren't actually mistakes. They were preordained, I feel, to just occur in the way they were supposed to occur, because we met people that we weren't supposed to meet because we had flights canceled, or we were in the streets of New York today and a random photographer came up and took Raw's picture.
Your picture too.
All of a sudden we were having a New York moment. It was like one of those things you dream of, I think, as a little girl, or if you've ever loved fashion, you've always dreamt of New York. And I remember Stephanie saying, even a year ago, we're gonna do this thing, and I'm thinking to myself, really, New York? I don't know. Can that really occur? Can that be a reality?
When was the first time I told you about New York, though?
I think we just talked about it in passing, and I thought in the back of my mind, even though I didn't say it out loud, like, okay, I don't know. Like, it really happened. Like, yeah. I mean, I don't even think you had been approached yet. I think it was just like a dream that we had.
Was your living room, though? Remember?
Was it in my living room?
The day I came, I haven't even made your clothes. I came to measure you. I haven't even started my business.
She spoke it out there, like,
and it happened just like boom, 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 boom.
I swear, everything that's happened with this whole experience has been like out of a dream.
Mm-hmm.
The people that we've met, the opportunities we've had, I feel like people work 20 or 40 years for it to happen, and it literally happened all in one dream.
And it was quick. It was like, what?
This blessing after this blessing after this blessing after this blessing, these people after these people, all trying to lift us up and create this wonderful experience, and it has really blown my mind. Like, way more fun and exciting than I would have expected. Right. Mm-hmm. So I didn't tell anyone I was even coming to New York. My own mother barely found out like a couple of days before I came out, because I didn't believe it either.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm not gonna believe it until I'm actually on the runway. And then when I walked in, I'm like,
I did mention mine. Look, I'm going to New York. You guys will see me somewhere in New York, all on Facebook and everything. You know, so that's I told people. I'm sorry. I told.
I think I was a little scared. I told my cousins who I
was not.
I said something. I said, you know, New York, here we come. That was the last time I said about it. The next time I said about it was 3 days before we came out. I was like, well, we're going to New York. Like, you know, I didn't believe it. And the funny thing is, my collection didn't even come to me 2 weeks before the show.
You had nothing done.
I had nothing.
I know, that drives me crazy, but
it's that working in that moment. Yeah, you just, yeah.
I say
I had my dress the night before.
Right.
I made you dress.
oh God.
You know,
it makes us stressed out. We're not even deciding.
I'm not gonna.
We don't know what we're wearing.
I literally did not have a collection.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't have Soleil's dress, and Soleil's dress is going viral, and I didn't even have that dress.
Going viral now, that's right. And that was a what? A 7-day dressmaking, or the same day, or two days?
You saw the text messages between me and him.
Somebody's mind can do that and put a needle and thread together with some material and hit and make a hit. That's what I could say. You made a hit.
And you see it down the runway, and sometimes, like, even it happened, like we walked the runway, but I'm still kind of like, I'm like fully hit me, because I'm still kind of like, I didn't make it to New York Fashion Week.
And one thing these two are not saying is, they came to New York, they didn't just walk for me. They walked for big names, and they did not just walk for big names, they closed for big names. So yeah, this is, you know, like right now I'm sitting in between three supermodels.
Well, true that. But true that. And we know that a lot of times where they want to say supermodels are, 5'7" and above, but that's not true. Behind the scenes, a lot of it, like with the makeup and things, getting things together, it can be very hectic, it for sure. But when you get yourself, extremely organized, and a lot of things I prepped definitely at night. We prepped a lot the night before. You always don't have your, ends that you gotta, do things. Once somebody put a dress on, you might have to sew a flower on, you might have to glue something on, whatever the case may be. But being back there, all your makeup and things like that, getting in line. You might have one person turning around doing a braid, and the next one got to put on a little makeup on 2 people at one time, mind you. So it's just, it can be very hectic.
I need to also mention that everything didn't go as smoothly, because if we said that would be a lie. Our show was gonna be a mess. First of all, because we had a situation with the hair and makeup, and some of the models had to go down without their makeup done, full face makeup. Nobody, some of them didn't have their hair done. So I was boohooing before we walked down the runway, and I was feeling terrible for these models, because some of them rely on that the makeup to be so confident because the spotlight is on them. And I'm thinking, how is this happening? But you know what? At the end of the day, everything that we do is a lesson towards the next one. And we learned so many things from this particular, we just stepped out of our comfort zone. And me too, yesterday I had to ask myself some questions, you remember?
Yeah.
And the thing is, we learn as we go, and what we learn is not to break us, but to make us better for tomorrow. Yeah. So there is nothing like a sister who could help you hold your hands when you're crying. Like, and the models, we're gonna do a group hug after the show. We did a group hug. Everybody was like, and then a sister who holds your hands and says in Jesus' name with you.
Yes,
and people who just say, okay, I'm gonna be there. She was like, no, we can have the models crying because they were already getting emotional with you. So you gotta go somewhere and go get this.
Just go take care of that over there. Go take care of that, please.
Yes,
because we did start tearing up because it is an emotional experience. First of all, you're overwhelmed that you are getting ready to walk down this runway at New York Fashion Week. And then to feel like, oh my goodness, I didn't get all my hair done. Or I didn't get my lipstick put on. Or I didn't get, but it turned out very well. You know what I'm saying? Everything just turned out. Yeah, we might have been almost half dressed, but we looked good half dressed. That's what I'm saying. Do you know what I mean? And why? And it had a lot to do with the clothing. And then your clothing is so versatile. Either you can put on makeup with it, or you can have a bare face with it.
And you will still steal the show because why?
It was the way it is. It came together. That's all.
Oh, you put it better than me.
It came, but that's the way it
you felt that way too because you were one of the models who went down without a full face.
Yes, I got in the chair. They threw some highlight on my face. They put some gold on my forehead, and they told me to put your heels on and get up.
But I'm gonna go ahead and say this for the record. She don't need nothing. I mean, she don't need nothing. That's all I'm saying. Some of us need a little extra, nip and tuck. But you didn't need anything, darling.
Thank you.
That's all I'm saying.
But even if for me, it's just my biggest thing was I didn't care about the makeup, but I was just like, as long as Stephanie gets her dress on the runway,
yes,
that's the reason we're here. What we gonna do?
Right.
It can be half makeup. It can be no hair, with hair, full beat, no beat. I'm like, the dress gonna go down. We're gonna act like we own it. Music to come up. We own the runway, and that's it. And it happened because everyone did love the show. Yes, and even after we went to red carpet, everyone was just like, who's your designer? Can I take a picture? Like, who did you walk for? So, makeup or not, even if we did want to have our full face, it happened. I believe it happened the way it happened.
I'm excited to see where all this is going to take all of us, how the steps that we're taking, the moment that we had here is going to skyrocket us to the next level. I'm just excited.
What is the next level? Let's just speak that out now so we can look forward to the next trip.
That's true. But I do want to
where we go next.
I have to thank Stephanie though, because she is the one that basically had brought us here. That I will say that. Not saying that we wouldn't have got here some other time later on down the line, somewhere around that, but it happened when it happened, and I have to thank her because she looked at it like, I want to take you guys to New York with me, and that there is just all crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? So that is thank you, and then what you do make us look extra good. I mean,
But it's like Stephanie has dreams for people or she sees things in you that you don't see in yourself, and then I mean, this last year has been such a game changer for me, mainly because of Stephanie. Seeing things in people that you can't see, and seeing talent that maybe you can't see in yourself, and then having it come to fruition. I think as a woman too, it just makes you feel so good, and like, what else can I accomplish? We're doing this all together, and we're accomplishing all these wonderful things that we thought would take years, and it's happening in months.
Honestly.
And it's just, and then all of these other people are coming into our lives. I guess it's the positive energy. I don't know. That's just bringing us to a higher and higher level. It's exciting.
And the funny thing, it's amazing that our team works so well because we have such a huge age gap.
Yes.
But we We work so well. Like I could never have chosen better people to be in New York with at this time. I mean, when I broke down, you guys were there.
Yeah.
Say a prayer.
That's right.
Make sure all the clothes were organized. Make sure all the models are doing what they're doing, and you walking like a goddess and climbing a table.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Right in the middle of the hotel. I said, this lady is not, no, seriously. I was like, I know she, now this is the, with the chandelier, yes, where everybody's walking and just doing her thing, and she's sitting there, doing her picture, and then, I seen her move back. I said, no, she is not getting ready to climb up on this table. But as she was doing it, I'm like, let me fix her dress. You are not sitting up on this table. Hold on, sister.
She's like, pose like this.
I said, now turn around and pose. It was crazy, but it worked so well because everybody was stopping, looking at, of course, the garment that Stephanie made. It was just this beautiful. It was crazy, like big time.
She looked like a goddess, and
you work it.
Your clothes, it's like, I feel like you make clothes like your clothes are the person. You don't just make like, oh, a shirt, dress, pants. It's like when you see Stephanie's clothes, you're like, okay, I'm gonna wear it here. I can do this with it. I have an event next week. I can, and you. That's how I even whenever I see anything you make, I'm like, Stephanie, gonna have this one and this one, but I also want that one. I know that don't fit me. We could just take off some fabric, put some fabric in, and it's just like and it makes you feel so good.
Yep. And I'm glad because you're my muse. You're my muse. You know my clothes, like the clothes I make for you, like the green one that you wore on my show.
That was everything. And then I had to steal it for a shoot.
I didn't want to take it off. I was running home with it. I was home with it.
Yeah, the white one was also inspired by you. Soleil's dress was inspired by Soleil.
Right.
And her garment for the show was actually made. So I told her I wanted her to look like a swan, like a swan queen. And
that's so funny because everyone was saying to me, "You look like the Black Swan." That's so funny. I didn't even realize that was the inspiration because I kept having people come up to me like,
and now that she said that, it gives me goosebumps because like seriously, it was what I envisioned. And so it's not about just making clothes for people, it's the woman behind the clothes. But I can tell you guys though, I am blessed to have walked into you guys in my journey.
We feel the same.
You, Lori, you and Michelle. Yeah, Michelle. You and Michelle.
Love you, Michelle.
Michelle, we love you, Michelle. I'm so sorry that you're not here right now. Like, I feel like you should be here to see this and be part of it.
You are, honey.
Yes, but we miss you. And Tamara was amazing in her dress, and she was. You remember I was gonna drape her with that thing, and
yes, but we took it off.
We took it off because her body inspired her outfit, and I just love the fact that the right people are in my life to be able to inspire me to make the most of my collection and dress. And you guys are amazing, and your being here confirmed to me that I didn't just believe in you guys, that I really did see a talent that was supposed to be seen, because everybody else agreed with me. You walked in and the lady said, "You're closing my show with her."
Yeah, right.
Like it is.
We can't believe it. Our eyes are like, like pinch. This is for real.
So I'm so happy for where we are all going. You guys are amazing, and we might go to London.
We are
going to London. Yay! We're going to London.
I see y'all at the airport.
Okay, I'm gonna see you at the airport for a fact.
But it's amazing how this whole thing worked out. We stayed in the same hotel. Some women stay in the same hotel. It's cat, but we don't have that vibe.
It's like we're not your family.
Yes.
Yeah, we
fell asleep on each other.
we help each other. Al wants to do a shoot. We carry the bag. We carry the shoes. We just carry stuff. We push our sisters up, and that's what women should do. Really, clothes should be able to bring us together, not make us compete with each other. Clothes should be able to help us uplift, and that's what I think my clothes. But my brand is to help. You don't go alone. You take everybody with you. You know why? Because you can't even do it on your own. Like I wouldn't be complete without people to wear my clothes.
Right.
And people like you to also say, I'm going to wear your clothes, but I'm not just going to do that. I'm going to go even further than that and help organize this whole thing. You organize the models, you organize the clothes, you and Michelle.
And I think all those models, they did very well.
The models were amazing. Every single,
It was a whole good group. That's what it was. It really was.
And I am very thankful. And see you in London.